They know what I see, what's going where they know. It's raw, saying how they do what's up, what's cracking while I go on, and yo, what the ease up, woman done the Michael Caesar, we up, let me bring it back, a Gino, seen trust, I will never change, still Marga, I'm more pick harder. But the liquor chase spider, if I die today, I still live like arse. Why them about?
We're all from the ghetto, basically. We're ghetto youths, as we would say.
Beware, bring up the teas with the melody. That's what they're telling me.
Obi Watson works as a mentor in a local college of further education. Out of hours, he runs Trinity, an arts group for the youths of downtown Derby.
Well, what we try and do is use music as an educational tool and use it in a positive way, and basically give youth and young adults the opportunity to improve on their musical ability and skills.
We're gonna bust up the show, and they don't know.
Surprised at the numbers of young people let down by poor literacy and numeracy skills, Obi became an adult learner supporter. The scheme he is involved in is part of the government Skills for Life strategy, the national strategy for improving literacy, language and numeracy skills for adults. Obi reaches out to young people who would never normally think adult education was for them.
The reason why they listen to me is because they know that I'm real, and that's the most important thing. But we don't live, in some posh area and then we come back and, what I mean, we've lived the same life that they've lived. So when we're talking to them, we're not talking to them on an outside view. We're coming from an inside perspective.
The first thing that a good supporter needs to have is credibility, and the best way to have credibility is to really live or work in the area that you're actually trying to support, where the people actually live. But if the supporter comes from their area, then they haven't got an excuse there. The supporter can say to them, well, I've lived on your street, I went to that school, I've been unemployed, but I've managed to come through it all, and so can you.
Because I'm just incredible, I'm on the next level and I'm going on terrible, I'm oh so lyrical.
Many of the young people in Trinity left school early and never considered improving their literacy and numeracy skills until Obi became involved.
Creative people do have the typical attitude that, I'm a singer, I'm a dancer, I don't need numeracy, I don't need literacy. I'll be all right with my skill of what I've got. I can sing, so why do I need to read, or why do I need to write? And obviously, it's one of the most important things that you need. Is the foundation of being a musician or performer.
Bless.
Some of the Trinity youngsters have now written and performed in a play called Gremlins. If you can't read and write properly, the Gremlins will get you. It's set in a record shop.
Excuse me, miss. Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking for this album, yeah.
Right.
It's for my sister's birthday, but I just can't remember the name of it. No, it's gone. I'll tell you what, yeah. Can I hum it to you?
Hum away.
All right,
Do
it goes like this, yeah. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do.
You know what, yeah, stop. I can't help you unless you give me either, the name of the album or the name of the artist. I mean, it could be,
Hold on a minute. Oh, I'm so stupid, she wrote it down for me.
Okay, let me just have a look at that, yeah. She writes a bit fancy, don't she? Plantasia. Planet Asia? You know what? If it's Planet Asia, their last CD smashed it. Hold on a minute. I've got it here somewhere. This is the one. Planet Asia.
Right.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. There you go.
Cheers, mate.
Your sister's gonna love it, man.
All right.
Yeah, Planet Asia, man.
The artist's name that was actually written on the piece of paper was not Planet Asia. It was, in fact, Anastasia.
The gremlin, alias Desi, is rapidly conquering his difficulties with literacy. Much of this is down to Obi.
But I don't want to become a victim. Hoping that one day I can be a top brass at the academy. Not to be so, what word could I use?
Obi was trained to identify those people he considers need extra help. Sometimes he carries out informal sessions himself. Sometimes he signposts them onto educational courses run at the local colleges.
How's
Humility.
humility? How do you spell?
It's HUM.
HUMIL
ITY.
ITY.
He's completed the first stage of his training as an adult learner supporter.
Humility.
So what you got so far?
I've got
What the training helped me with was being able to identify people who have difficulties with numeracy, literacy, language skills, and actually being able to give them support, an extra support, but give them a helping hand, but without having to say, not in the role of a teacher, just being able to be there for them and actually making them know that I'm there for them when they need me.
my language has improved a lot. I feel a lot more confident now because my spelling's a lot better. I can speak to people a lot better now, and it's like, it's great.
3, 4.
No need to keep resisting, although people keep insisting, trying to keep me in the system. Don't want to become a victim. Hope that one day that I can be a top brass at the academy, all around me.
Not long after, Desi is recording his song in a proper studio. Words come easily to him now.
There's no need to keep resisting, although some people keep insisting, trying to keep me in the system. I don't want to become a victim. Hope that one day that I can be top brass at the academy. All around me hostility, I stand strong in humility.
Know that I've made a difference, and that's the most important thing for me, making a difference and actually being somebody positive in their life, who they can say, all right then, this person is real and is doing what I'm doing it for the love. I don't do it for the fame. So
this is the SEG, rolling with the Trinity.
The Isle of Thanet, as the area around Margate is known, was once the haunt of artists, writers and royalty. Karl Marx, Oscar Wilde, Jane Austen and Queen Victoria were all regulars here. Recently, however, it has seen a decline in its fortunes. Authorities from around the country have moved poor families into the cheap bed and breakfasts that are everywhere here. It's now one of the most deprived districts in the country, with large numbers of young and single mums. Emmalene Martin can understand what they're going through. She had her first child at 19, interrupting her training. She was brought back into adult education through a family literacy project and is now an adult learner supporter. She knows how hard it is for young mums to go out and seek help.
I think lots of mums are very isolated, like I was, and lots of them are very wary of going to new places and meeting new people because they don't think they're going to fit in, or they don't think that they would be accepted, or they're worried that people might judge their parenting skills with their children, and then would be worried that people might interfere in the way they're bringing their children up or things like that.
Let go.
Emmalene takes her two youngest, twins, to her local playgroup.
Ready?
She has now been trained to spot mums who may need some help with reading and writing.
There are lots of mums who had their children very young that didn't finish their education. I think that lots of the mums have trouble when they first have their children, perhaps reading instructions on the milk or with safety equipment. There are lots of mums that can't read the children's books to them after school, that when their children go into juniors, like my son just has, that can't actually cope with the homework that the children are bringing home and are not quite sure how to go about that.
If you've reached adulthood and you're not able to read or write, then you're likely that your children are likely not to progress in school at the same rate as everybody else. And it's likely that you have also got parents that didn't read or write very well. The point of Skills for Life is to break into that cycle, to help all three generations be able to learn to read and write, but mainly is to make sure that we haven't got a third generation or a fourth generation with the same problems.
The other mothers listen to Emmalene. She's one of them after all. Like Obi, she's in just the right place to win over young people in the heart of her community who would normally be very suspicious of formal learning. She encourages them to take up learning opportunities and will pass on details of useful courses.
It fits in with you so that for people who work, they can go and do it in the evening. For people who've got children like me, I did it in the evening. And then if you've got, if you work all week, then you can go into a residential one at the weekend. That's beautiful, isn't it?
You have to be really careful how you approach people. You've got to gain people's trust. And at the end of the day, they need to know that you're there as a friend to support them, that you're not someone prying and that you're not judging them.
Emmalene's children are lucky. Their mother reads to them every day and takes them to lots of local activities. Now Emmalene wants to help other families who have missed out.
If I can help one person and that's then helped 2 or 3 children or even one, then that's amazing. You get out of it a sense of achievement, that you've given someone some confidence that will then make them feel that they can do anything, is a really good gift to give someone.
It's the only course of its kind in the country, and for many youngsters, it must seem too good to be true. Learning to improve literacy and numeracy through skateboarding.
Right lads, do you want to come round?
It's targeted at young people who may have left school without qualifications. The hook is skateboarding, but while they're there, they improve academic skills as well.
I really didn't like school at all. I got bullied quite a lot. And I never went because of it. So that's why I left with no qualifications. That's why I'm doing this, as well as going further, going to college.
The young person, the 16 to 24, is one of the priority groups of Skills for Life because we've identified that they are on a threshold of their lives and they can go 2 ways. They can either become the unemployed of the future or they can become people who are really productive in the workplace.
Okay, just think about the pumping, okay? Nice position. Take your time, just try and get a little bit of air over there for me. Yeah, excellent, well done.
The man who has made this course happen is adult learner supporter Andy Barrett, who manages this Kent skate park.
Well done, Ben, that's excellent.
Good friend, actually. Funny, great laugh.
He is just like a mate, basically. He's there to help you, but he's also a mate as well.
My practical in the morning tries to get them into wanting to concentrate. Try to get them to have a load of fun. Learn something, learn a new activity, and then when they get to go into the classroom, they're still on a good buzz from what they've enjoyed doing to sort of make them concentrate that little bit more.
The youngsters have 2 1.5-hour blocks of skateboard practice, followed by sit-down sessions always related to skateboarding, but aimed at improving literacy and numeracy.
Because we've got bits to finish off.
Before the course started, Andy worked with the teachers to develop a learning programme related to skateboarding.
So if you remember, the plan was to sort of identify various angles that are common and would make a brilliant skate park.
If we got these measurements wrong when we was building ramps, we'd be all over the place.
The youngsters have been set a project to design their own skate park. They learn about angles and lengths, using protractors and rulers, sometimes for the first time.
Measure up. So just 10 in each one.
20, 22.
Well done. First few weeks it was weren't too interested, didn't want to know too much and didn't want to learn so much, but as it's gone on, and got them in there on the practical side, and they're a bit more interested in measuring an angle because they want to know that ramp is a certain angle.
One of the things you needed to do was to watch to see which ramp was used most often.
That's easy for you, Tan.
While the teacher Sue is in charge of the lesson, Andy is there to support her and to encourage and infuse the youngsters when necessary.
I think you just got to measure the angles and fill it in.
If there's any problems, I've always gone to him. He knows them a lot better than I do. He's been the rock, I suppose. I think they love him. Yeah, I think there's a really good atmosphere here. He seems to know what he needs to know, and he's very good with them. It's very relaxed. It's nice.
It's more fun than school was. And I think I've learnt more here than I ever did at school.
It's the last day of a 10-week course. It's time to appraise what they've learned. Even some of the sceptics have been won over.
Think about what you thought of skateboarding when you first started.
Is it okay?
It's a silent K. One more, no, back one more. It's before the end.
To Andy and the teacher's delight, 3 out of the 5 learners have opted to enrol on courses at the local College of Further Education.
Yeah, it's good to see. I like to see the kids obviously going from the first couple of weeks they get here and they're hating life, and then after, they sort of relate to you a little bit, and then you can see their performance and progression. So that's a nice feeling. Yeah, that's good to see that. Sit. Ow.
In this country, more than 1 million people have English as a second language. A poor grasp of English can make everyday tasks difficult. Rupinder spends a lot of time helping Punjabi women. It started with her family, but soon lots of other women in the Derby area wanted her to help them too.
The children will come home and say, well, this is what we've been doing, and can you help me with this? And they're finding it difficult. And other things such as shopping and just life skills, really.
Rupinder has been trained as an adult learner supporter. She specialises in helping those with English as a second language. She now supports 3 groups, one for Punjabi women, one for asylum seekers, and today she's helping some language learners in a mixed group. Before the session begins, she is briefed by the teacher.
There are some that are struggling with the literacy and you have to encourage them into it. There are others who think the literacy is the real work and I can do the reading and writing, and what we have to encourage is the speaking and listening skills.
No, this is the river. Yeah. That's the river where the ducks are. Yeah. What's this that he's on? It's the bridge. The bridge is over the river.
The learners here cover a massive spectrum of abilities. Some are university educated, while others may have left school aged 11 or earlier.
This is a high street.
While the teacher structures the session, Rupinder works with the individual learners at their own pace.
No, it's this way, look, because it's facing this way. It's opposite. Which way, left or right? On the right?
Left.
Where is the bank?
In between the post office and hospital.
Very good.
Is opposite the sand.
Very good. Yes. I hope I am making a difference. The difference, I hope, is that they will have the confidence to go out and be able to do things on their own. They can take those skills with them wherever they go, and that's quite satisfying for me.
Did they enjoy talking, telling?
After the session, Rupinder chats to the teacher. It's her chance to find out how she got on, and also gives the teacher feedback on her learners' progress.
And this story was basically Norman driving along the same route, wasn't it? I don't know how many of them picked up on that.
They found that more difficult than any of the others, and I think it was more the fact that there were pictures involved.
Well, thanks for your help with Zamida particularly.
No problem. I've enjoyed it. It's been really good.
Her Majesty's Young Offenders Institution, Deerbolt, County Durham. Poor literacy and numeracy has already blighted many young lives here. Around 60 to 70% of the young men have literacy and numeracy skills at the level expected of an 11-year-old. Some arrive here unable to read or write letters home, fill out basic forms or read a very limited prison menu. However, Deerbolt has a vibrant education service aimed at developing the prisoners' literacy and numeracy skills. Here, a small group of prisoners have completed training as adult learner supporters. They encourage those with literacy and numeracy needs to improve these skills at prison, as well as helping them informally. They are known internally as peer supporters.
How do you spell position?
P-O-S.
P-O-S.
I-T.
I-T.
I-O-N.
I-O-N.
Liam Hickson volunteered soon after coming to Deerbolt.
You can just tell her that you're waiting for the application form
to get sent here.
Yeah. People can come and approach you and say, look, I'm having a bit of difficulty, I'd like to write a letter to my mum and I can't do it, can you help me with that? Or I've got a letter from my mum and I can't read it, would you read it to me? And obviously the only way that someone from outside can get in touch with you is to send a letter because they can't phone you directly. So it's pretty upsetting when you know you've got a letter from your mum or from your girlfriend or whatever and you can't read it.
NTPA 12 station standing by.
Nance Lee Warner, the wife of a retired vicar, is one of a dozen supporters from the community who comes to the prison once a week to work with individual prisoners. It's a project she started aged 80.
I came and I just enjoyed it from the word go. The atmosphere is so good, it's so relaxed, the boys are so varied, and you just feel, well, there but for the grace of God go my children. And if you can do a little bit to help, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Good morning, everybody. Morning. Nice to see you all back here again for another session. You've all got your workout, your files out.
The session is run by a specialist teacher, Maria Waddington. Each learner is teamed up with a supporter whom they've been working with for several weeks.
I'm going to give you a list of adjectives. So again, you'll need to explain to him what an adjective is. They're all really dull, boring adjectives. And what we need to do is try and get him to think of more exciting ones to use. So using his dictionary skills, actually try to get him to find adjectives which are more exciting than nice and words like that. And then write some interesting sentences which describe the nouns using his adjectives. Okay. Liam and Anthony. Okay. Now, I've got something slightly different for you two to do today. Right, now, Anthony's going to be out fairly soon, and one of the things that he's really interested in is going into catering, because you're really into that, aren't you? Yeah. Now, what I'd like him to do this morning is to look through this catering magazine, find out any jobs that he might be interested in perhaps applying for, and then looking at the kind of questions he might have to ask if he was going to ring. So we're going to do telephone skills, all right? When you're ready, I'll come back, we'll set the telephones up, and we'll actually do the role play.
Craig Halston left school at 11 and has been in and out of custody ever since. He knows that improving his reading and writing will help him find work and stay out of trouble.
What do we think of somebody who is very good with their hands, can paint, can draw?
Artist.
Yes. Now, can you think of an adjective, a describing word made from artist?
No.
What about artistic?
What's that?
Means they're good at art. Well, you can spell art, look up artistic, get the meaning.
Learning is intended to be relevant and interesting. In Anthony's case, his telephone skills need brushing up if he is to have a good chance of finding accommodation and work on his release.
Excellent.
Hello, manager. Hello, I'm ringing about the job interview in the yard.
Okay, and which position are you applying for?
The chef.
Okay, and do you have relevant experience in this position?
Yeah, I've done experience in prison before.
Prison. And do you have references from your prison employer?
No.
You don't?
No.
Do you think it'd be possible to get them?
Might be. I'm not too sure.
Okay then. Could you just tell me a bit about yourself?
Well, I've been in and out of prison since like I've been 14 and that, and hoping to like put it all behind us now.
Okay. How old are you now?
18.
Okay, dokie.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Good, well done. All right, you spoke quietly, slowly, without rushing. You were very polite, and you answered all his questions. What's the outcome? Are you going to send an application form off now? Yeah. Now,
He just asked if I had experience.
Right.
I've only had experience in like prison.
But you were honest straight away, weren't you?
Yeah.
And you told them straight away. And and how did you react to that?
As an employer, I reacted quite surprised to that because not many people would be that upfront and honest, which is a good thing, that he wants to put his past behind him and he can be upfront about it.
Good, because you did, you said that. You've put your past behind you, you want to move on now. So that was excellent, well done, the pair of you. It's really good.
I get a lot of self-satisfaction out of it. The fact that you can go and sit and actually help someone, and you can come away at the end of the day knowing that when someone came into the class they couldn't do something, and through you helping and supporting them they can now do that.
It was a beautiful day and the sky was blue. I felt so distressed.
Depressed?
Depressed.
What you said you felt?
I decided to go for a long walk.
They treat me like a grandmother, and that's how I think we can empathise. There's no threat from any of us here at all. They know you care, and they know we respect them, and therefore I think they respect us.
Since I've been coming to jail, I've just started reading and writing and that, so it's just helping me. So hopefully when I get out this time, I can do something with my life, can't I? Instead of going down the wrong track.
Most of them are very keen to learn, and they know they've made mistakes, and they do want to better themselves. And in this environment here, they have every chance and every support to do so. I just hope that by caring that they know that the world isn't such a beastly, cold, hostile place, that there are people who care about them.